Hey guys, happy Thursday. It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Real Housewives of Miami, Season 7, Episode 2 review. This was another great episode. Gotta give it to the Miami girls. They always are coming with it. So, the episode begins with Lisa, Guerdy, and Adriana linking up to have like lunch or drinks or whatever during the day. And they all gush over Adriana's new French bull thing. Bull thing. Boo thing. Bull thing. Where the fuck that come from? Anywho, and they telling her how young and youthful and good she looks. And she says that she's been using this new French facial serum. AKA she been letting him nut on her face. And I said, well, girl, ship me some in a bottle so I can put it on mine, okay? Because you got to give it to her. She looks good. Lisa lets the girls know that she is leaving for Milan literally the next day because she's walking in the Philip Fine or Klein. I don't know how to pronounce that man's last name. Show. Even though her father is in the hospital, remember he had a heart attack or something of that nature, but they also have had a strained relationship. They had literally just started communicating and getting along. So I'm not really mad at her or looking at her sideways for not being at the hospital with him because they don't have the traditional father-daughter relationship. You know what I'm saying? This man wasn't a part of her life from what it seems like for many, 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 many years. So even though they just recently connected, I don't feel like she's necessarily obligated to drop everything and be by his bedside. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. How do you guys feel about that? So Larsa will be in Milan too because her son is walking in the show. Now, Larsa says she was asked to walk in the show, but she was uncomfortable because she didn't know if she would fall or whatever. So she suggested her son Preston do it instead. And Guerdy tells Lisa, well, hopefully she doesn't make it about her. And Lisa was like, she would never. And I was like, girl, have you met Larsa? Do you not remember last season when she made Guerdy's cancer all about herself? She most definitely would make it all about her. And she did. She did the whole trip, not just to you, but to her own flesh and blood. Okay. So the day they're supposed to leave for the show, Larsa's son is packing or whatever, and she keep on calling his name saying, we're gonna miss the flight, there's gonna be no show if you don't come on, and the son hates her. Let me just say that he hates her just as much as we do. She was getting on his nerves, and he was like, okay, mom, here I come. All right, give me a second. Like, she's insufferable. She is absolutely insufferable, and I bet all of her kids hate her. Absolutely every last one of them probably detest her. Okay. So here she go. You don't think Lisa is going to be on our flight? And the son was like, I don't want to talk about that. This is a business trip for me. Like, I don't want to talk about that. So it's obvious that she often talks to them about what's going on in her friendship circles and things with the show and stuff that them kids obviously don't give two F's about and don't want to be involved in. It's obvious that she puts her children in precarious situations where they're uncomfortable. AKA when you're sitting up here dating somebody that could have literally been your son, that could have literally been my brother, that was our dad's teammate's son. How embarrassing is that for us as your kids? Wasn't at one point she was messing with one of her other son's teammates on the same team as one of her sons? Didn't that happen? I know I'm not making that up. Like, ew, gross. You can tell that they like cool on her, like, ugh, like gross. All right. And it was so uncomfortable for me to watch and embarrassing because I'm like, why are you talking to this boy about these grown situations? You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he had to tell your overgrown plastic ass that he didn't want to talk about that is ridiculous. That you would know that that's inappropriate. So then we switch back to Miami, and Alexia and Alexia and Julia leave from an exercising class together, and Alexia asks her about Guerdy. And Julia was like, I don't really care either way. And I was like, were you ever her friend? Like, I tell y'all, you know the measure of a friendship about how a person treats you when you have a falling out or a disagreement. The fact that she could say, I don't really care either way, you never really fuck with me. You never really liked me for real. And that's obvious. That's 1000% obvious. So then Julia says that it wasn't just the Zoom call incident, that Martina got sick and she had an event that she had to go to, but she was super worried about Martina, and she told Guerdy about it. And Guerdy offered to take Martina's place with her on this trip. And she was like, so happy that she did that. But that Guerdy made it all about publicity and herself and her PR. She said that she was texting me the most insane messages, accusing me of not looking after her properly after some dinner reservations she wanted to go to. Listen to what I'm saying. Julia says in her confessional that Guerdy texts her. She reads the text message where Guerdy allegedly says, they don't have my name on the dinner reservation. Not sure why they separated us since I came only because of you. I was moved to the side for this exclusive party. Anyway, all good here. I had dinner alone. See you around. Well, first of all, you can tell this is another situation where Julia is telling half of the story to try to make herself look better about the situation, because but in these situations, she keep on telling on herself. You had an event. You didn't want to go by yourself. Guerdy volunteered to go with you, to be a friend, to support you. She goes with you, and you have dinner reservations at this event, right? And when you go to these events, you have a +1. You have to, say, okay, I have a +1. Please put her name on the list or whatever, because she's accompanying me to this event. It's obvious that y'all get to this event and you didn't put her name on the list, ma'am. You didn't put her name on the list. Therefore, she was made to sit wherever and ended up having to have dinner alone. I would be pissed if I didn't went miles and miles away to go with my friend somewhere and you don't even look out for me. Like, how you got me at an event and you don't even know where I'm at, ain't even trying to get me to where you're at, and you just got me out here floundering by myself. And it was then when she said to Alexia that she was messaging me, accusing me of not properly looking after her after some dinner reservations she wanted to go to. What you mean she wanted to go to? She was there to support you. What the fuck are you talking about? It's obvious what Julia is doing. She's doing what we've seen several housewives do throughout the years, where they turn their back on a friendship for a storyline. And it always backfires. And I don't know why y'all continue to do this. This is exactly what happened on New York, Real Housewives of New York, with Bethany and y'all remember old girl, how she played Bethany. Who else has done this to a housewife where they turn their back on them and started a beef for no freaking reason? I can't think, but off the top of my head, I'm just thinking about Bethany. Hell, it happened with Bethany and Carol. That, Carol's last season. We have seen this happen so many times. And it's obvious that is what Julia is doing to Guerdy. But Guerdy keep on dropping these receipts on her and making her look stupid. And even after last week's episode, everybody pretty much sided with Guerdy. And Julia has been receiving so much backlash, and she put out this statement literally yesterday that I'm going to do a video on, but all of this is backfiring on her. backfiring. And if I was Guerdy, I will never fuck with you again. Never, ever, ever. We can be castmates. I will film with you. I will be cordial with you. But as far as us ever becoming friends again, you can forget that, because not only did you lie on me twice, but you have treated me like you could take me or leave me. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you putting me in these positions and then basically acting like I'm getting on your nerves. Like, they even showed the flashback with the Zoom call where all the girls was telling her, Guerdy can't get into the call. She's tried. She needs a link. And you act flippant about it. And then you tell me you had both babies in your arm and you was dictating the message to her, telling her she can find out basically about it in the press. Just as easily as you were dictating the message to her, you could have easily said, girl, I'm sorry you couldn't get in, but ta-da, I have the babies, we've adopted. Like, how hard was that for you to say? You made a mountain out of a molehill and created this imaginary beef for a storyline this season. And it's ridiculous. And you's a fake ass bitch and don't nobody see it for you no more. The hell with you. So after that, Lisa and Larsa ended up having to ride on the same plane together to Milan, and it was awkward. They did not speak to each other. And then when they get off the plane, y'all, it got even more awkward because the ride to the hotel, they had to ride together, which was insane. So Preston is so uncomfortable. He got in the front seat and Larsa told him, don't leave me back here with them. And he was like, I'm not getting involved in this. Like, So Jody and Lisa get in the car. It's hella awkward, but they speak, and then the conversation starts up. And the conversation about everything that happened with the market situation comes up. And Lisa was like, you said Jody was cheap. And Jody was like, yeah, you at my party talking crap about me and I ain't even did nothing to you. And Larsa was like, for me as a woman, I wouldn't be around someone who was publicly bashing my friend. This guy is doing stuff to me and my family. If you believe he's your friend, then you're a psycho. He's not your friend. Why are you calling this man out of his name, calling him psychos and stuff and belittling him? That's not how you talk to people. So even if you was in the right, you in the wrong for the way that you're coming at him about the situation. And at the end of the day, who cares if he's still hanging around Marcus? Who cares? You shouldn't have introduced him. He don't owe you nothing. He's Lisa's man. You introduce him to somebody that you were dating at the time. You can't be mad because they're still friends with one another. Now, I could see if Lisa was still hanging with him. She's not. And you're once again creating these situations to have a storyline and to have something to be mad about. When at the end of the day, none of this would have happened if you would have never messed around with that toddler and Tiara in the first place. But you so busy wanting to be Gigi Hadid, trying to be young, and you out here making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. You keep on chasing youth and you going to end up like Death Becomes Her, girl. Like, stop. So meanwhile, while she loud and going off or whatever, Lisa keep on trying to remind her, girl, your son is in the front seat, like, calm down. But Larsa don't care. Larsa could give it a goddamn. Lisa then brings up, how her dad is in the hospital. She got a lot going on or whatever. And Larsa had the nerve to say to her, then you shouldn't be here. If your dad is so sick, you shouldn't be here. And Lisa was like, wow, like, that was rude. And it was rude because at the end of the day, like I said, I could see if they were like this and this was her father that actually was like in her life and was a great father, you know what I'm saying? Then of course, but this isn't the traditional relationship. She can be worried about her father and still go and do this show, but for you to say, then you shouldn't be here all nasty and stuff. Like, Larsa is scum. Like, she is a literal scum. She is the devil. Okay. She is a horrible, horrible human being. And she needs to be popped in them inflatable dick suckers she calls lips. That's exactly what needs to happen to her. She need to get her ass whooped one good time. Oh my God, I can't stand that heifer. But her day gonna come. Her day gonna come. Her day is going to come. Guerdy unfortunately has to have another breast surgery, reconstruction surgery, because the boob that was getting radiated on ended up shrinking. And this is something that happens when you go through radiation. Not unfortunately, gratefully it didn't happen to me when I had my rounds of radiation, but with hers, her one boob is very much smaller than the other boob, and she'd already had reconstructive surgery on both of her breasts and everything. So she's already had 6 surgeries, which is a lot. Russell doesn't want her to keep on having surgery after surgery, because the surgeon said that she's probably going to end up having like 3 surgeries. And I agree. I see where Russell is coming from, because anytime you go under, you're taking a risk. But at the same time, Guerdy is like, I want to feel normal. I want to feel like myself again. I don't feel, sexy. I don't feel like I look good. And it is an abnormality, because you saw on one of her breasts where it's like she didn't really have a nipple or whatever. It's like they just pulled the skin together, because mind you, they had to go and take fat and stuff from her back and her stomach to make her breasts. And that was one of the things when I thought that I would have to maybe have a mastectomy or whatever. They was telling me, the different ways that we can reconstruct your boob without, doing implants. You can take fat and make a breast and all of this type of stuff. And that's obvious the route that she went. So I get it. It's some women that need their breasts to be as close as possible to normalcy or the way that they were. I myself, I didn't really care. I could care less, especially after having the big ass titties that I had previously. I just wanted them suckers gone. Okay. I would not have cared, but to each his own. Everybody handles it differently. So I sympathize with Guerdy, but I also sympathize with her husband, because he has to see her go through all of this stress and surgeries and being cut open and all of the risks that are involved. Marisol is going to marry that old man she been fake marrying since 2020. She talks to him about how she doesn't want Alexia with Todd because she's defensive and he brings out the worst in her, and that Todd was picking at her and making her feel less than who she is. And I was like, the reason why Alexia keeps on going back to Todd, especially considering everything we're finding out about their relationship, it's because he's the first man that is not out here fawning over her. Remember, she had her first husband, who was in the cartel or whatever. He was all over her and treated her like the Cuban Barbie or whatever. Then she married that gay man. Then she get with Todd or whatever. And even at her old age, he the first man that's mentally fucking her and taking her through. She ain't went through that in her previous relationships. You know what I'm saying? We've all had that one man that mentally up. You know what I'm saying? Playing games, playing mind games, the tug of war. And unfortunately, she's going through this in her 50s, where she's allowing this man to make her look like a fool. But she's allowing it and going through it because she ain't used to a man treating her the way that he treats her. And it's kind of like an ego blow. Like, how could he not be in love with me? How could he not want to be with me? And she's trying to prove that he loves me. He wants to be with me. He made a mistake. And it ain't none of that, girl. It ain't none of it at all. So Larsa at the hotel keep on trying to talk to her son, Preston, about this Lisa situation. And that child is visibly annoyed and exhausted with her. You can tell he hates her and wants to get away from her, and she just sitting there looking stupid in the face when he once again shuts her down and says that he does not want to talk about this. You imbecile, what is wrong with you? So then when they go to the fitting, Larsa talking about how she'll do anything for her kids, and in her confessional she says, I'm invested in my kids, so the fruits of their labor need to come back and take care of me someday. Great parenting. Great parenting. But it's on brand for Larsa because we know that's the reason why you're so invested in your kids' careers, because it's all about money to you. I see why Scotty left your ass. Because you ain't shit, bitch. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. And if you think them kids really about to take care of your old ass, you got another thing coming. Another thing coming. Nah, especially all the shit you keep on putting them kids through. Girl, bye. Girl, the fuck bye. You better make some great investments. So Alexia, Marisol, Julia, and Kiki have dinner with Alexia's really close friend Johnny and his friends. They're celebrating him. I don't know if it was his birthday or him coming to the States. I can't remember. But Alexia in her confessional says Guerdy and Adriana didn't make the list because I don't want anyone making it about them. This is about Johnny. And I'm like, what issues do you have with Guerdy? What has Guerdy done to you? When has Guerdy ever made a situation about herself? I get you not inviting Adriana because you and Adriana don't get along. But I was like, what? And I'm like, so basically you giving Guerdy your ass to kiss because Julia got an issue with her. It's also high school. It really honestly is. And the exact thing that she said she didn't want them doing, she ended up doing. She made the whole thing about her and Todd. And I said, well, ain't this the pot calling the motherfucking kettle black? So Alexi was like, he didn't like the show life and how he looked. And I told him I would step down, and he said, well, it's too late already. He doesn't like the power the show gives me. It's all about control. I live in your fake rented apartment. I drive your fake rented car. And everybody is like, oh my God, she is spraying him and revealing everything. She's like, nothing is yours and nothing is mine. And I was like, once again, it goes back to what I just said. You putting up with a man that obviously ain't got no money, got money issues. Everything that was in the blogs and the news obviously is true, that this man paper ain't as long as what y'all portrayed it to be, because we saw the cracks in that last season when y'all lived in that expensive ass apartment. And then suddenly he telling you to start looking for new places. And everybody was like, why you gotta move? It didn't make sense. It didn't add up. So he a fraud. He a fraud. And you keep on fucking around with his fraudulent ass. And it's because of exactly what I just said. She is determined to try to make us, the world, and herself believe that this thing that they have is real true love, and he really loves her, and he doesn't really treat her bad. I love him, and girl, goodbye. And Julia was like, she don't really like when she sees her out with Ty, because every time she sees him, it reminds her of what he did to Frankie. Like, you moved out of that house in front of that little boy, not a little boy, he's a grown man, but you know what I mean. And had him be the one to tell her what happened. Like, the fact that you even went back to him after he did that is insanity to me. Insanity. But she is stigmatized and mentally. So then Alexia get the fake crime. You gotta help me, you guys. You gotta help me. He's an effing monster. He's an effing monster. Meanwhile, fast forward a year later, she was just on Watch What Happens Live yesterday. And Andy says, are y'all still together? She was like, no, we broke up yesterday. He was like, when was the last time y'all was intimate? She was like, a few days ago. Marisol was sitting there next to her like, this bitch is so fucking stupid. Like, she still ain't learned. She's still going back and forth with this man. Back and forth. And it's because of the reason I just said. Girl, bye, Alexia. But you know what? I don't feel bad for her, because this is what you get. Like, we all got to go through it. And Alexia think that she is so much better than other people and always judging everybody else's situation. And now you over here looking like the biggest loser. Ty, keep on dragging her ass. Keep on dragging her through the mud, child. Keep on doing it. Keep on keeping on. So, at the fashion show in Milan, Lisa is backstage looking out for Preston, which I thought was really sweet of her, considering that things are strained between her and his mama. Larsa is sitting outside with one of the ambassadors or whatever of the clothing line, and Jody comes and sit next to them or whatever. And the dude that works for Philip was like, oh my God, your son came out number 2. He practically opened the show. Like, that's a great position to be in. And Jody, somebody asked, what number is Lisa? He was like 50. And Larsa was like, Lisa is like number 50. I'm dead. And then when Lisa came out, she told me, ooh, let's take selfies, and was taking selfies as Lisa came out trying to be funny and shady. Like, Larsa, you are not on Gossip Girl. Like, act your fucking age, girl. You are not 19. You are damn near 60 years old. Will you grow the hell up? It don't matter how much plastic surgery, how many BBLs you get, how long of extensions you get, how much filler you get in your cheeks and your lips, girl. You still closer to death than you were. Like, girl, you are so freaking childish. And then making fun of her for being number 50. It don't matter what number she is. She still came out. She still slayed, and she still looked good. And at the end of the day, she still looked better than you. You fucking cartoon character. So, the producer asked Larsa in her confessional, do you think Preston would have gotten here without your help? And this lady said, fuck no. Well, way to support your kid. Like, who says that? Why wouldn't you say, of course, like, I believe in my son, whatever he, puts his mind to, he can do, you know what I'm saying? Like, God bless them kids, because this bitch is horrible. And I see why Scottie Pippen can't stand her ass. He hate that bitch. And now I see why. And I don't even care that Marcus was saying what he was saying to her, because he probably has seen the other side of her that we all see, that she ain't shit. And I want him to keep on putting his foot on her neck as well. I don't care. So then Larsa tells Lisa at the after party that they need to talk when they get back home. And then Fabulous was there because he performed, and they talking to Fabulous and telling him the situation. Well, Larsa brought it up and was telling him the situation and asking him who was in the wrong. And Fabulous sided with Lisa. He was like, you can't get mad at her for something that her man did. I could see if it was her still hanging around him, but like, you can't do that. And of course, Larsa lying ass gonna get in her confessional talking about, of course, Fabulous sided with me. And we all saw that he didn't. Like, she is a natural born liar. Everything about this lady's life is a lie from the depths of hell. So after that, Lisa is like, Jody's gonna be mad at me because he says he feels alone and left out. And Larsa is like, I mean, but you have to mingle, this is, your night or whatever. And Lisa's kind of like looking around for him or whatever, but she can't find him. Then after that, they say that the cameras went down, but the situation between Lisa, Jody, and Larsa continued on. They push fast forward to a week later where Larsa and all the girls minus Lisa are out. And Larsa is telling them how she and Lisa had started to get along. But on the last night, Jody got crazy and didn't want them to talk anymore. He was yelling over them. And then you see Julia say, how big was his eyes? And Larsa shows them a picture of Jody on the red carpet where he took a photograph and his eyes was like this or whatever. So I'm assuming she's going to allege that he might have been on drugs. And he might have been. You dated a crackhead. She dated a crackhead. Who cares at this point? But why are you trying to make her relationship look bad? You know what I'm saying? She didn't do that to you when it came to Marcus. She did not. She never talked about y'all relationship or what y'all had going on last year. She stood up for you and she was a friend to you. And Larsa is just a snake. She really is. She really is a snake of a person. And I don't know what happened with Jody and why he was telling them that he didn't want them to be friends and was yelling over them. But who knows? He probably got tired of y'all going back and forth. He probably got fed up, and I wouldn't have blamed him. I honestly wouldn't. Do I think that he might be on some cocaine? He probably does, based off the statement that he put out that I did the video on, where he was like, if I did, which lets me know, yeah, you probably was, So if he is, and Lisa is willingly dating somebody that's doing that, then good luck, Chuck. You better hope Larry or whatever your ex-husband Lenny don't find out and take them damn kids away from you. I hope that doesn't happen. But if you are dating somebody that is using drugs, then you're just as big as a fool as Larsa is. And you need them kids taken away from you if that's the case. Do I think that Jody is good for Lisa? No, I don't. I think he cool for the moment, but it's starting to look a little questionable when it comes to him. And it ain't got even nothing to do with Larsa at all. It's just the things that I'm seeing from his behavior and the things that he is saying and doing. But I'm going to give this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Miami a B-. It was a good episode, but I know that one thing, they need to leave my girl Guerdy the hell alone. Leave Guerdy alone, because Guerdy ain't did nothing to nobody, and y'all some fake ass hoes. And I really hate that that Guerdy ain't really got Nicole no more. I really hate that. It's obvious that Adriana is gonna be there for her, but that's, pretty much it. And I hate that for her. I really do. Nicole, you better come back next season, because we need you. We need you. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode. Let's talk about it down below in the comment section. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know my videos drop. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.